that we do when we throw the ball, because the stuff happening out on the edges so far tonight's not happening. You're either going to have to block it differently, or you're going to have to run the ball or throw the ball some other way.
And that was one thing I brought up with Jacob one time, and we mentioned, I called it a little intermediate pass. You know, your 10 to 18 yarder that, you know, with a guy like, let's go back to Davis, very capable of, you know, making something, you know, breaking it and going the distance.
Right.
Something to make them maybe back off, especially coming over the edges or crashing edges, as you said, and making them play more of a lack of better words, a basic defense.
Right. Our touchdown drive was a prime example. I mean, they mixed it up really well. We threw a great pass over the middle that looked like it was our second, maybe even third receiver option. There was nobody around the kid when he caught the ball. We mixed it up good, and how did we score? Right up the middle. I mean, I think that's kind of the game plan maybe coming back out here. I could be wrong, but we'll see.
Well, we're hoping that is something, you know, something to that effect that gets us going, because the Dragons need something to happen. They trail at the half 27-6, and you are watching. I know I say watching, and you're going, well, no, well, all we can do is hear you. AAA regulations, we are not broadcasting or showing a video of the game yet. We will show it tomorrow. We'll know a little more what time later. And do not forget the trivia question that Jacob asked earlier. I believe it was named the only player in state finals history for Junction City to record a rush, record a reception, an interception, and what else did you say, a tackle? I'm trying to remember what all. But anyway, the bottom line is this. One guy's done it. Give us a name, and you can win a DSN hoodie. And you know, if you're not sure, take a good guess. Think about it. Dragon's been, I know, 7 times, counting tonight's 8, but we're talking about one of the previous 7. One player did all that. Actually did a little bit more. Returned a punt, returned a kick. Who is that guy? You want to take a shot?
Not on the air.
Not on the air.
I'll let the folks at home think about it.
I told Jay would give me credit. He wouldn't give me credit. I did guess the player. I had to think about it for a while, but it finally narrowed it down. And real quick, while I got a chance, Sean, let me do this real quick.
Okay.
The sponsors of the Dragon Sports Network, the title sponsor for DSN, El Dorado Chemical. Our title sponsor for Junction City Football, Union Kennel and Farm Supply. And let me give a shout-out real quick, Mr. Todd Cottrell, EDC, Mr. Ricky Robertson, and Union Kennel. Thank y'all for being involved in all you have done. We greatly appreciate it. Mr. Kevin Payne, the Kevin Payne Foundation. They sponsor our pre, half, and post-game shows. My good friend, Mr. Kevin Payne, thank you for what you do, and thank you for what you do in the Junction City and surrounding communities. STI Sims, Mr. Ken Holmes, shout out to him. Lanix Energizing Chemistry. Southern T-Shirt Company, the official apparel sponsor of Dragon Sports Network. I failed to mention him earlier. Miss Marcy, I apologize. Thank y'all for all you do. My good friend, JB, Johnny Brewer, Red Roof Barbecue, official barbecue of the Dragon Sports Network. Hog Wild Pest Control, our kickoff sponsor. Junction City Floors, kickoff sponsor. Kim's Hair Salon. And a shout out to all 3 of the fine people that make that happen. Mr. James Tucker, and I should say 4, Mr. Steve and Miss Sharon Williams, and Miss Kim Phelps at Kim's Hair Salon. Of course, Mr. Steve and Miss Sharon, Junction City Florist. Terminex, Josh Blatcher. I apologize if I get your name wrong, Josh, but thank you for getting on board with us this year. We greatly appreciate it. And this is one that means a lot. In memory of Kevin Norris, from his sister, Miss Jan Norris Pepper. Thank you. She got involved with us right after the first season. In fact, come up to us after the state finals and wanted to know, hey, I want to get involved. And we thank you every year for what you do. It means a lot to us. And I think it's also very special to remember a great Dragon, Kevin Norris. Generations Bank, Ms. Charlene Nelson, thank y'all for getting involved. Your hometown bank, Generations Bank, we thank you for helping with the Dragon Sports Network. Hopefully the Dragons can get a little help, get some things lined out, and get back in this one. It has been a rough first half. They trailed 27-6, but if this team, Sean, has proven one thing, it's no big deal for them to either have a 23-point lead or be down 14 to smack over. They can overcome it. They got the offense to do it.
Correct. Let's not be all negative about this, all right? We can score quickly, we can get in a rhythm, and we can do to them what they did to us in a half. I mean, we all know that. So they're down there talking about how they're going to do that right now, I guarantee you.
And I feel a little confident second. I believe you get in that locker room and you look at each other and say, okay, that's over with. We got one more half to go. we can get it done. And I guarantee you, Stephen Jones, knowing him like I do, Coach Jones and that staff, they're not going to walk in there and say, well, tough luck, guys. No, they're going to have a plan ready, and it may be nothing more than let's go out in the second half and play our game.
Remember the Smackover game? It seemed like we couldn't get anything going for the longest time, and then we just flipped the script. So it can be done. We can do it. We've seen it happen.
Well, I guess I'll go ahead and throw this question at you. Pick a Super Bowl champion this year. Because everybody I talk to is like, ask me something about the economy or politics or something.
Can I pick one kind of out of the left field a little bit?
Sure.
How about the Minnesota Vikings?
I won't rule the Vikings out at all. I was going to stay with a tried and true one, and I know this is going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but my favorite coach is Bill Belichick. I'm going to stay with the Patriots.
Yeah, well, it's hard to pick against them most of the time for sure. I was just trying to come up with something different because those guys in Minnesota are doing pretty well themselves.
You know, sometimes it's the guys you don't really think, like you said, that kind of a little out of left field pick, but they have been playing some solid ball. And I guess the other question, I hadn't had a chance to ask you this, and I know a lot of people I talked to, I've heard the argument back and forth. Do you agree with Alabama being picked for the college football playoffs?
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I mean, I do. Here's the thing about that. I mean, one of the best arguments I've heard, and it depends on which argument you adhere to. Some say get the best 4 teams, forget the conferences and so forth. There's a little bit of a compelling argument that people have when they say if you didn't win your conference, you don't belong in there. So I see that side of it a little bit. But if we're going to agree that they're trying to pick the best 4 in the nation, I think they did the right thing this time.
And that's exactly my sentiments because I was all alone. I said, you got to go with Alabama. Of course, I can't stand the Big Ten conference, so we won't get into all that. But Arkansas hires a new football coach. Your thoughts on that?
Well, his offense kind of looks familiar to us. Here's something I've told you this year. People don't like talking about this, but to me, the former Razorback coach came in and tried to run an offense that did not match the talent in the state of Arkansas. That's my opinion. The guy coming in here now and the guy that apparently they wanted with their first choice, I think their offenses match what the high schools and the athletes at the high school level are doing in the state of Arkansas and the coaches. So you have your flagship school now is not swimming against the current, against what all the high schools are doing. The talent levels ought to match up, and that ought to help them a lot. I really believe that.
And that could be a good sign for Arkansas high school football in the state when you got a guy that's running offense similar to what the high schools are running. And, of course, Arkansas, you got Coach Kevin Kelly.
Absolutely.
At PA. You got Stephen Jones now doing his thing.
Well,
and
you can actually look at the history of Junction City football and see where a lot of this came from. Think about years ago when we were first competing in the state playoffs and we would play the Harding Academies of the world and some of these teams that threw the ball a lot out of these spread-type formations. And we thought, and what did we have to work on to overcome that? Defending the pass, defending some of these Gus Malzahn type principles. Now it seems like everybody's running a Gus Malzahn type of offense. And I just think it matches what the athletes you have available to you in the state of Arkansas, and it's going to be good for the college.
I heard a lot of – I was with Coach Carpenter one time at one of the Hall of Fame inductions for the high school for high schools coaches and players and officials. And I was listening to some of the I guess you say older heads talking, and they were talking about Lavelle Edwards, I believe was the coach at BYU. When he come in there, that changed everything. I think when Gus Malzahn showed up, that changed everything.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily throwing the ball. It's the way they run it out of those formations as well. That's what matches your talent.
Well, that's one thing. And, Sean, we want to thank you for joining us
You're
here
welcome,
at halftime
guys.
and helping out. That
Hopefully
was great.
Jacob got him a drink and got to rest for a second.
Yeah, Spielberg bailed me out here because I was needing a Coke now. So we're good to go. We're getting energized. The Dragons are getting energized. We're fixing to have a better second half than first half.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Go Dragons.
That was Mr. Sean Enos. He was a 2017 Wall of Honor inductee, quarterback the Dragons from 1986 to 1988. And was the first quarterback in school history to get the Dragons into the state playoffs. And glad he could help us out. Jacob, you look a little bit more energized now. Are you ready?
Oh yeah, definitely. Let's get this thing going. I mean, there's no reason to be any other way. I mean, this is the for several seniors out there. This is to be the final 24 minutes of their football career. Something they've been doing for their entire life as long as they can remember. It'll be the last time they get to put on that Dragon uniform. And you know, there's only been a handful of teams. This makes the 8th one that's had the opportunity to take off that Dragon uniform for the final time in War Memorial Stadium. And so definitely, you're down 21, 27-6 is our score. And this is going to sound as cliche as it comes, but what you want to do is you come out here, Rivercrest is going to get the football, and they've got the momentum. Let's be honest with you. They've got the momentum. They've got everything going their way. They're living high on the hog. They're having a great time. State championship. They're in cruise control. They're feeling good about themselves. You got to come out and you got to get a stop. You got to get the football offensively, go down the field and score. And then if you can rinse, wash, and repeat, however it goes, do that a couple of times, you'll find yourself back in the mix. You'll claw yourself back into the ball game, and you'll find yourself with a chance to make something happen at the end of the game like Junction City's been able to do so far during this playoff run. But it doesn't happen if you can't come out and set the tone here early in the third quarter.
That's right. You know, they interviewed Mike Tyson back in his heyday when he was ruling the boxing world, and they said they asked him a question about when you come out, you know, you're going to prepare to face so-and-so, whatever they was talking about. You know, his plan is do this, do that. And Mike Tyson said it best. Everybody has a plan until you get punched in the mouth. Junction City got punched in the mouth. Now, go in halftime, you clean up, you come back, and that's what we talked about. Do you stay with what got you here? Do you change it up? What do you do? We'll find out here in about 2 minutes and 40 seconds. And like you said, the big thing coming out, defense has got to be ready to roll because Rivercrest gets the ball to start the second half.
Well, that's exactly what Mr. Sean said while you were gathering yourself and getting that voice back. He used that exact Mike Tyson quote, and then I followed it up by saying, you find yourself on the mat right now. You're on the mat. You got 24 minutes to pick yourself up off the mat, put the gloves back on, strap it back up, and start throwing some more punches and see what can happen. Because at this point, you're down 21. You've got 24 minutes to work with. You've got to find a way to claw back into this ball game and try to make it interesting at the end.
Well, we got some guys, and let me say this because I know folks listening are going, well, they sound like he's being very critical. I'm not. We're just, you know, we're talking about what we see. You got several guys who've got to play with some composure. You got to settle down. You got to, and I know this sounds cliche, is you got to play your game. Play what got you to this Friday night in War Memorial Stadium. Like you said, it got chirpy from the get-go out there. Last year, the way the game ended, you know, it was a hard-fought, emotional affair. It turned out to be Coach Carpenter's last game. And you mentioned this, Jacob. A lot of those guys have not forgot that. And it seems like both of them came in there with a little bit on their shoulders and started bumping. And next thing you know, the jawing starts. You can see the helmets moving up and down and all that. You got to get away from that and go out and play your game, play your assignments, do what you're supposed to do. If Junction can settle down and do that, that's a big step in the right direction. Got to cut down on penalties. I mean, my goodness, we got a wheelbarrow full of them in the first half. And we definitely have to handle that ball better. In fact, Sean mentioned this earlier in the season. He was watching a couple of games. He texted me. He said, one thing that bothers me, these guys have got to control the ball better, got to handle it better. It reminds me of the old Oklahoma teams in the 70s when you had Thomas Lott and all them running wild and the football out to here, you know, style and profile and all that good stuff. You can't try to start doing that in the state finals. You got to settle down and play your game. And last but not least, offense has got to get rolling. Sean said it during the Kevin Payne Foundation halftime spot. Junction's got to come out and do what they've got to do. If it means grinding the ball out to get settled down, to get the offense flowing, fine. Big plays, like he said, can get the offense flowing. Junction's got the playmakers to do it. So there's a lot of positives. It ain't like, oh, my goodness, this is over with. By no means is it not over with. There's still 24 minutes to go, and this team showed that they could put up a bushel full of points in just a short period of time.
Yeah, the Dragons averaging 47.9, just under 48 points per game. this season, and they've only got 6 through 2 quarters tonight. And so they can definitely set the tone here in the third quarter and try to begin to work back that momentum bar that is in favor of that far sideline and those white jerseys here. And it begins on this kickoff. And the second half is underway. 2 quarters remaining in the Class 3A schedule on the season. And Jakyron Cook wraps up the returner just shy of the 50-yard line. So the Colts going to have pretty good field position here to start their first drive of the second half.
And so Junction City's defense, led by Terrell Gibson. He's the school's all-time leading tackler. You ready to see him make some big plays? Brock McGugan. Just any of them step up there and make something happen. I don't know, Jake, I may have to go back and re-energize, man. I can't even get my words out.
I formation, offset line for the Colts. They're going to keep it on the ground. Wenda carries. He's behind a couple of blockers, still on his feet, and he's going to muscle his way across the midfield stripe into Dragon territory. And I tell you what, you're going to see a lot of that from Rivercrest tonight. They're going to keep it in, or here in the second half, they're going to keep it in tight. They're going to try to eat away at that clock, knowing they've got a 3-touchdown lead over Junction City.
Well, we talked about that right before half. If they got another score, and they ended up getting another score, look for them in the second half to slow things down, let that clock run.
That's exactly what they're doing. Already 30 seconds gone here in the third quarter. Again, same formation. They give it to Franks, the fullback. Plows forward, met at the second level, pushed back. I believe they'll give him forward progression down to the 45. Be a gain of about 2, so to bring up a quick third down for the Colts.
And for the Dragons, let's go back to something we talked about in the pregame when you asked me some of the keys to the game. Win the battle on third down. Well, here we go, 3rd and 3. Need to win this one here because you need to get that offense on the field ASAP.
Under 11 minutes to play, third quarter again. Offset line to the left. I formation, Franks and Wenda. They give to Franks. He's met immediately, nowhere to go, and that's going to be a 4th down coming for the Colts. So we'll see what they elect to do here. If you're Coach Chandler, you just need 4th and about 1.5 yards. It looks like he's going to keep his offense on the field.
That's what I was wondering. Do you play field position here, or do you look at that 4th and 1? So, well, I get the first down here, I own that ball for at least another 2 minutes.
I think you go for it, and until Junction City's offense proves that they can score more than 6 points against you, you go ahead and put that defense on their heels here and see what happens. And that's what they're going to do. 4th down and 1. 10-10 to play, third quarter. Again, they're going to give the Wenda, fumbles the snap. I don't think he got it. I don't think he got it. Jalen Davis was the first guy to meet him in the hole, and the ball's on the ground. Junction City's saying they've got it, and it's Junction City football.
Dragon football. Okay, there's your first step right there. You ask your defense to come in, do the job. They did it. Who's holding the football up? The shortest guy on the field, Fred Daniels. Now, you've got to build on that. Get the offense on the field. Let's rock and roll. And before we all get excited here, now the officials in a deep discussion, or have they got it settled?
They've signaled Junction City football. On the far side, you've got the Rivercrest coaching staff arguing that he was down forward progression, and if that's the case, it's still Junction City football. They're just trying to argue field position on where the Dragons will start, and that will be at the 48-yard line with 9:58 to go in the third quarter. You start to hear that Junction City crowd trying to get back into it. Frazier out of the shotgun, fakes the snap to Taylor. He throws on the run. He's got Davis. Nice block by Fisher. He's got the sideline down inside the 30. He's pushed out of bounds, stayed on his feet. We'll see where they mark him out, and that's going to be the 24-yard line, and the Dragons are knocking on the door of the purple zone.
Okay, this is what we need to see. Now, get that offense to keep going.
Keep rolling.
And keep rolling. And no pencil to get that rhythm going, what y'all talked about at halftime. Get the rhythm going.
1st and 10 from the 24. They give to Taylor. Over right guard, still on his feet. Muscles his way inside the purple zone down to the 18. And the pile is still moving. And he's finally tossed down after the whistle, I do believe. No flags. But that's a nice, I believe they'll give him 7 yards on the carry. He's inside the 20 down to the 18. Bring up a second down. And we'll call it 4 from the press box, 6 yards from Taylor. And they give to Frazier. He gets the call. He muscles inside the 15, still on his feet, running hard. Two. I tell you what, the seniors in the backfield so far getting it done here on their first drive of the third quarter, running hard. First contact, not enough. Second contact hasn't been enough either. And it's 1st and goal to go from the 9. Taylor, the lead block for Frazier. Jets up the middle. Touchdown, Junction City. The Dragons have found the end zone with 9:08 to play in the third quarter, and already you're feeling a little bit different about this second half.
What we talked about, get in a rhythm, get in a rhythm, get in a rhythm, and they did it. Now, go for two here. No doubt they are.
Yeah, I mean you've made a state record 47 2-point conversions. There's no need to bring the old kicking unit out on the field in this point. 15-point advantage, 27-12 is our score. They line up to go for two. They keep it in tight. Taylor muscles his way in. He got across, and it is successful. And just like that, the deficit has been cut to 13 with 9:08 to play in the third quarter. Timeout on the field. Junction City, they will not go quietly into the night here in Little Rock. 27-14 is our score. Rivercrest still on top. You're watching Dragon football exclusively on the Dragon Sports Network. Like I said earlier, you got to stop, you got to score. Now you got to do it again. You need a stop, and then you need a score. And it's going to start here with the defense once again.
Well, we talked about playmakers. You just saw them all then. Here's another one to throw in there, Mr. Fred Daniels, with the big, helping with the big stop, getting the turnover. We talk about the offensive guys, talk about the defensive guys. Make your plays, make something happen. And I can't help but think about that fourth down the Desart went for against y'all toward the end.
I thought the same thing. It looked very reminiscent. Davis meeting Wenda in the hole.
Oh, yes.
And, I mean, I tell you, he had a yard. He needed two, but Davis met him immediately, pushed him back, and they didn't allow the whistles to blow the play dead, and Daniel was able to come up with the football. But I tell you what, a nice job by Junction City offensively. They found their weapons. They were able to use their guys, get them involved. They were able to move quickly.
Let me ask you a question real quick. You've been out there, you played this game. Are the officials letting them play a little bit longer?
I think you got to. I think you've got to.
I think you do, too.
There's 2 quarters left in the season. You've got to let them play. Nothing dirty, nothing cheap, but you let them get their money's worth.
That's what I was supposed to say. I like that.
And they're going to kick it to the part of the field where nobody's at. Ball's still on the ground. It's bouncing around. It'll be picked up by Robinson. He'll now reverse field. He's going to have a little traction. He breaks through the hole. He's across the 40, so a nice return by Kentavious Robinson. I tell you what, he was a game-time decision. He's had 2 big plays here for the Colts so far. He had a big play in the first half, and then that return right there when it appeared that if Junction City wasn't going to come away with the football, they were at least going to back the Colts down inside their own territory. But Robinson was able to bail them out, and he's got the Colt offense starting at the 44.
Now you're ready to see the Dragon defense keep that rhythm going, what they had going on the big fourth down stop. Let's see another big play or two. Things are starting to look a lot better now than it did a while ago.
You're starting to feel better about yourself. Both units play off of each other. Hey, you got us a stop, we'll get you 6. Get us another stop, we'll work on getting you 6 more. 8:57 to play third quarter. Again, they'll go off balance. Handoff, Wenda. He gets to the second level, still on his feet. Muscling through, that's Robinson. I tell you what, that is one advantage that you have when you go empty, when you go off balance line. You get everybody up, and you've got to account for everybody, and that leaves your second level very thin.
And a good move by the Rivercrest coaching staff to do that. It makes Junction City have to try to readjust, and it's hard to readjust sometimes when you got a different type of player running the ball.
And they give to Robinson again the next level. And I tell you what, Cavante Haynes once again, if he's not able to wrap up and bring Robinson down, he's probably banging his head off the goalpost as we speak. But another big open field tackle from Haynes. But yeah, that's the second straight first down run from Robinson. So the Dragon defense is going to have to buckle down as the Colts have moved the football down to the 31-yard line of Junction City.
Junction City has beefed up the defensive line a little after those 2 plays.
8:15 to play. They fake the Franks. They'll run the option to the left. And Robinson tackled from behind. Who was the first man there? They believe that was Jalen Davis.
And I believe the coach tried to counter that, Jacob. Junction City made a quick adjustment on the defensive line, put a little more beef right up there around the nose guard. And you saw Rivercrest this time, instead of trying to pop the middle, they run the old option to the outside.
Again, off-balance line, 5 linemen to the right of the center. Again, they give to Robinson. He's just weaving his way through there. Really no need to force anything, just hidden behind a blocker here and there, and he's got the football inside the 20 down to the Junction 15. So Rivercrest They're answering the Dragons.
Got a player down. The Colts do. And I believe that is, I couldn't quite get the number there.
It's going to be, not sure on the number. Hopefully that young man's not
too bad.
Not hurt too bad. Hopefully it's just a stinger of some sorts. 7:52 to play in the third quarter. Junction City comes out, gets a stop on 4th down, and they're able to get their offense into the end zone, and they've cut their deficit to 13, but Rivercrest has answered. Big return by Robinson, and then he's been the guy to get it done so far on this drive. 3 rushes of 10 or more yards, and he's got the Colts inside the 20, ball at the 15 along the far hash. And the player shaken up. That's number 54, Daniel Guerrero, senior guard.
And hopefully it's nothing bad. He's okay.
I believe he's trying to walk it out along the far sideline. I'm sure he'll return if he can. 7:32 to play. Clock starts. Again, off balance line, 1st and 10 from the 15. They give to Franks. He's met in the hole, spins out of the tackle, and falls forward for a couple of yards. They'll mark him down at the 12, so a gain of 3. It'll bring up a 2nd down and 7 from the 12.
And no doubt about it, we need a big stop here.
5 minutes gone here in the third quarter. Again, they'll give to Robinson. He bounces around, finds some running room. He picks up a 1st down inside the 5, spotted at the 4. That'll move the chains and give the Colts a goal to go opportunity. And so if you're Dragon defense, this isn't what you needed. You needed to come out and get another stop, but so far Rivercrest getting it done, keeping the football away from Junction City, hoping to add 6 more. They give to Robinson, trying to bounce it outside, nowhere to go. Great contain out there on the edge. The Cook brothers, Holiday in there as well, Dante Gibson. Several Dragons on the scene. Robinson's brought down for a loss. Backs him up outside of the 5 at about the 5.5, and we're under 6.5 to play here in the third quarter. 2nd down and 5 to go for the Colts. They're going to fake it. Rolls out, man's wide open. Jamaica Franks, touchdown. Nobody accounted for him out of the backfield. And I tell you what, you run that off balance eye, that's definitely something you can run out of. And Junction City was unable to pick up the pass catcher out of the backfield, and the lead has made its way back to 19.
And Jacob, that's the 2nd time I believe they have run that play and ran it to the number 40 there. You called his name. They ran it down here on the other end right before the half. I can't remember for sure. But they have caught us off guard with that twice now.
And the kick is up, and it is good. So with a timeout on the field, 6:13 to play in the third quarter. Rivercrest leads Junction City 34-14. And after all of that, you're able to score, but then you give up a score. You've cut your deficit to 20. It was 21, now it's 20. So, I mean, I guess that's a victory. You're clawing your way back into it. Now, granted, you're going to need some more stops defensively.
You'll need quite a few more if you're going to go that route.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, the big thing now, the offense get out there and, get a touchdown back. And the defense, whatever you got to do, that off-balance line, the stuff they're doing out of it, try to come up with something to combat that and give your offense a chance to keep cutting into that lead. There's still plenty of time left. You just need, in Junction City, we said this a million times already, quick striking offense, they can get it done, whether it's on the ground, in the air.
And if you're the Dragon offense, you can't allow your inability to not stop them on defense affect how you play offensively. You've got to keep putting the ball in the end zone, and they'll have another shot to do so here. Corner kick, it'll be fielded by Fisher at the 25. Bouncing around, waiting for a hole to open. He'll get to the sideline. He's got some blockers. Puts on the Jets. He's across midfield, still on his feet, and they're going to whistle him down. Oh, man. I tell you what, he had some running room along that far sideline. Put on the Jets once he got the corner, and they're going to say he was down at the Junction City, or out of bounds at the Junction City 46. One official said he was down at the Rivercrest 44.
That's what I was looking at.
And then he walks back.
Well, It is what it is. You start from the 40, they're going to say the 45, 46-yard line of Junction City. See if we can make something happen.
Frazier out of the shotgun, gives to Taylor, and the ball's dropped. It's on the ground, and hopefully Junction City comes away with it. That's the 4th time they've put the pigskin on the turf tonight. They've lost 2 of them. We'll see if they've lost their 3rd one, and they have not. Junction cannot hold on to the football. Miscommunication in the backfield. I don't know if he was unable to get the snap or what. J.D. Winda's shaking up. Officials did call an official timeout, so he'll have to head off the field.
Yep, he's coming off.
So no gain after the fumble. Frazier stumbles in the backfield. He'll be dropped for a loss. I don't know if he'd have kept his feet if he'd have had much room to work with anyway. He'll lose 2, so a quick 3rd down just with the snap of the fingers. It's a 3rd down and long for Junction City. They're behind the chains once again. Under 5.5 to play, 3rd quarter. Dragons going to have to hurry. Not all the time in the world to work with. Find themselves down 20, 34-13. Rivercrest on top of Junction City. Taylor to the right of Frazier. He's going to throw on 3rd down, in and out of the hands of Jalen Davis. Actually, Jalen never got his hands on it. That ball was thrown too high, and it stops the clock with 5:05 to play in the 3rd quarter. And Junction City trailing by 20. You got to think they're going to have to go for it here.
Yeah, they don't really have much choice.
I mean, with the way Rivercrest they're running their offense, they're eating clock. You've got to go for it. Whether you give it to them here, give it to them down the field. They're going to sling it out. Jalen Davis in double coverage, and he's knocked down.
And not a flag, and he started to throw it at one point.
He did,
and
I believe he's going to say it was an uncatchable football. But the only reason that flag doesn't come out of the pocket is because he did reach for it.
He reached for it and then changed his mind.
And so the pass falls incomplete. Rivercrest will take over at the Junction City 44-yard line. They've got a 20-point lead and all the momentum with 4:58 to play in the 3rd quarter.
Well, if you're ever going to have a 3 and out, it's got to happen now.
If you ever need a turnover, you need it to happen now.
Right.
Junction City, they've turned it over 3 times tonight. Twice on the ground, once in the air. And the Colts, again, they're going to change anything up. Brown will get under center. He's got 5 offensive linemen to the right of the center. They give to Robinson. He bounces in the hole. He's still on his feet. And that's going to be a 1st down carry for Robinson right out of the gate. 11 is what he picks up, and he's inside the 35 down to the 34-yard line.
And some good hard running by Robertson, because it looked like they had him right there at the line of scrimmage. We have a dragon down on the field, and he ends up picking up 11. Jacob, one more time, let's do it, and if we don't get a winner, maybe I have to throw a hint. Your trivia question concerning the state finals.
One player in state finals history for Junction City has recorded a rush, caught a pass, returned a punt, returned a kickoff, and has recorded an interception return, all in the same game. Just one player's done it. Who is he? And what year did he do it?
And if you get it, it's a hoodie if you get it right. I believe we got somebody that says they know who it is.
34-14's our score. Dragons trail it by 20. Again, Rivercrest in no hurry. They give to Franks. He plows forward, running with a couple of guys still on him. He's still on his feet, muscles his way for a 1st down. He's inside the red zone. Mark him down at the 18. And I tell you what, this is Rivercrest ball game right here. There's nothing you can say, do, or think about it.
No, there's not.
With 4:31 to play in the 3rd quarter.
And nothing fancy they're doing.
No, it's nothing fancy at all.
Nothing fancy they're doing.
You find yourself having to account for all those linemen on one side of the ball, and it's leaving you kind of barrel on that 2nd level as they fake the Franks. Brown keeps it. That'll be a gain of about, we'll call it 5. Bring up a 2nd down and 5 from the 13.5.
Yeah, I believe I was waiting on the chain guy there. He finally put down. It's about a 5-yard gain. They need 5 to get the 1st down here. We need a turnover.
Again, out of the I formation. They're in no hurry. Robinson, he's met in the hole. Really nowhere to go. That's probably Really nothing going right there for Rivercrest on that play. Best play by the Dragon defense so far on these last 2 drives. We're under 3.5 to play, and just like that, that's what Rivercrest doing. They're just eating that clock. Only 3.5 to play in the third quarter. Junction City, they're going to already down 20. Could potentially go down 4 scores if they can't get a stop here. Again, they give to Franks. He'll work over left guard. He picks up a solid 5 before he's even hit, and that'll be a first down and put the Colts in a goal-to-go opportunity.
Yeah, even a field goal here hurts the Dragons. See, you don't want them to get nothing, and you got to make something happen. And the only thing to get you out of this, because I feel like if they do end up forcing it to a 4th down, Rivercrest, we talked about their kicking game in the pregame show, they'll hit the field goal here, and now you're down 4 scores.
3:10 remaining. Clock continues to move. 34-14 is our score. Rivercrest trying to add another one. They give to Robinson. Bounces out of a defender in the hole. He's inside the 5, down to the 2. And I tell you what, just looking at that far side of the field in those stands, I don't believe the fine residents of Wilson, Arkansas have sat down here in the second half.
I would second that. They have not. They've had plenty of reason to stand and holler. I have to give them credit for that.
2nd and goal from the 2. Colts are knocking on the door. They give to Robinson. Tries to go over right guard. He's met by a host of Dragons. Hard to say he picked up a yard, but they're going to give him a yard.
3rd down.
So 3rd and goal to go from the 1. You got to think, I mean, this is 4-down territory. I mean, you're up 20 if you don't get it on 3rd down. I mean, you got to think 7 more is a dagger. You know.
Well, at
this point, 3 is a dagger.
And look at it like this, Jacob. You got to, if you don't make it, we got to go 99 yards.
That's it. They fake, and
he did not get in.
I believe he reached the football across. His body didn't get in, but he reached it.
There's a signal from the far side. He's saying touchdown.
That's a nice play right there from Brown. He faked to Franks. They've done it 3 or 4 times on this drive of giving it to him. This time he faked it to him, took a couple steps forward, put the football across the white stripe, and it is a 40-14 advantage for Rivercrest. And Chirinos' extra point, that's strongly booted through the uprights and good. Timeout on the field, 1:53 to play in the third quarter. Rivercrest 41, Junction City 14. And if it's going to happen for the Dragons tonight, it's going to have to happen in a hurry.
In a big hurry. I mean, it's the things we talked about in the pregame when you told me what's the keys to the game here for Junction City to bring that 7th title back to the border town. And everything we talked about that they needed to do and not do, they've either haven't done it or they continue to do it. Penalties, turnovers, hurt them. And, sometimes when you go to that well too many times, you fall in it. And Junction City's fell in it tonight. When stuff you get away with, sooner or later it's going to catch up with you. We talked about that. Well, it's happened. I mean, I'm not going to repeat myself, but it's everything I talked about.
And to keep going with your well analogy there at the beginning of the third quarter, somebody threw a rope down, and Junction City was able to grab it and start to pull themselves up, and then the rope snapped. And now the deficit is 27 points here with 1:53 to play. And so, I mean, you're feeling good about yourself. You get a stop on 4th down, you take it down the field, you score quickly. Deficit's cut to 2 scores. And now it's back to 4 scores.
Well,
corner kick. Fisher fields it at the 23-yard line. Bounces around. He's going to try to get to that far corner. Spins out of one tackle. Still on his feet. Not real sure what he was trying to do, but he moves his way up to the 40-yard line. And that's where the Dragons will have it 1st and 10 along the far hash.
Well, if you're Junction City, without trying to sound too cliches, you keep fighting. You just keep digging in there and you keep fighting, and you don't let up.
You've got 13 minutes and 43 seconds to work with here in your season, and you're down 27. So, again, it's got to happen quickly for you, and it starts on this offensive drive. You got to get yourself together, compose yourself, and, again, just keep scratching and clawing, hoping something good goes your way. Pistol formation, Taylor behind him. They're going to throw. Frazier sprints out. He's going to have to keep it, but he said he's going to throw on the run. He's got a man, throws it out of bounds. He had Fisher. He was behind the coverage. But again, Frazier trying to throw on the run.
And he had to go on the run immediately. They came hard, and he had to let it go, and you're hoping that somehow or another he could connect, and it didn't happen.
I mean, you got to think maybe he does a better job for him if he just tucks it. He may get 6, 7, 8 yards. Instead, decided to throw. No fault there. The pass falls incomplete. Bring up a 2nd down and 10. $1:35 to play in the third quarter. They'll work 2 receivers to the weak side of the field. And jump pass. Davis catches it, but he is met immediately.
Good tackle.
I tell you what, that's Chipman.
And
That's Zori Chipman, the senior. I tell you what, he's been all over the field tonight. He's I hate to say it, but he's been in Jalen Davis's back pocket.
Yes, sir.
All night. And Davis, he was able to catch that swing pass out of the backfield, but really nowhere going after he hauled it in. It'll be a gain of 2 yards, bring up a 3rd down and 8. Clock continues to run. We're nearing 60 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Frazier rolls out, really no blocking whatsoever along the front. He stumbles as he tries to set his feet to throw. I tell you what, they got pressure along the right side of the defensive right side, got pressure along the left side of the Dragon line. And
number 60 for Rivercrest was back there immediately. I mean, there was no let up. I mean, he came and he came hard. And when you're trying to set up something deep, you got to have a little bit of time, not a whole lot, but you got to have a little bit of time.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was not there.
Yeah, Junction City getting exposed on
And
the
we
biggest
wasn't even
stage. They weren't ready here. And on 4th down, Frazier still on his feet, throws it incomplete. He was just trying to make something happen by trying to get it to Ford. And again, miscommunication on the snap. It was snapped while nobody was ready. Taylor and Frazier were both looking toward the sidelines. And you can't erase a 27-point deficit if not everybody's ready to get things going. So Rivercrest, again, the live stats here provided by Mr. Troy Mitchell, the sports information director at Henderson State. I tell you what, if there was I wish we could see the average drive start for Rivercrest. I guarantee you it's inside Dragon territory tonight. They have their worst drive start, I think, has been the 20. They've only done that once, and I think they might have scored on that drive.
I believe they did.
50 seconds to play, third quarter action. Dragons trailing 41-14. Again, they give to Franks, and he's still on his feet. And I tell you what, if you really want to see a ball game get out of hand,
it's getting out of hand.
The officials are going to have to unswallow their whistle and start blowing it quickly, because there's no way a play should last that long when you got a running back who's 5'4", 113 pounds. He's not going anywhere. He's just being bobbled around in there.
Right.
But you're going to start getting guys that are furious, especially guys in purple jerseys. We've seen that so far this year. It's hard for some of those guys to keep their cool at times, and you'll definitely see a ball game get out of hand if this officiating crew don't find some way to hook it up.
The 26 seconds left. Now the clock starts running.
This will definitely be the final play of the third quarter. They're going to roll out. They're going to find a guy. He bobbles the football. That's going to be caught by number 33, Dequez Slayton. They've got him listed at 5'11", 190. And I tell you what, unless he's got three pullovers on under that jersey, ain't no way that young man's 190 pounds.
Nah, I don't think he is. Unless that's some of that metric weight or something, I don't think he is.
They may do it different in Mississippi County, as this will be the final play of the third quarter. They give to Robinson, and he muscles his way down inside the 15, and that's what I'm talking about, some late hits going on out there on the field. A couple players getting into it. And that'll do it. 3 quarters in the books, just 12 minutes remaining here in the Class 3A football season. And for 36 minutes, it's been all Rivercrest. They lead Junction City 41-14. We'll step aside for a minute, catch our breath, and we'll bring you the fourth quarter action here at the Class 3A state championship game.
No,
12 minutes remaining in the 2017 Class 3A finals. And we are trying our best to give away a hoodie. A couple of guesses have come in. People have missed. Jacob, I'm going to give them a hint. One hint's all they get. And now I'm going to just throw this hint out there, and you have to figure it out. I'm going to say this, and I'm through. Woo Pig Suey. Let's see. And you're ineligible anyway. So let's just see if anybody can get it. That's the only hint I'll give them, Woo Pig Suey. And real quick, before we get back to the game, a shout-out to my brother-in-law, the biggin, Mr. Lynn Hayes, 1976 Dragon. I hope you're doing okay, buddy. Thoughts and prayers with you. And hopefully these Dragons can turn it around. Jacob, they need to turn it around fast.
2nd down and 3 to go here as we start the 4th quarter of action. 41-14 is our score. It's been all Rivercrest here in this one. They're 12 minutes away from their 3rd state title in program history. And they hand off to Robinson, and flags on the play. But it's going to be a false start, so that'll help Junction City out. It'll back the Colts up. Should make it about a 2nd down and 8.
So we'll back up and do it again. And folks, to be honest with you, there's not just too much you can say at the moment. It's been a rough night so far for the Dragons, and you hope if there's a miracle finish in there that it's about to take place. They're down 41-14, need a big play on defense here to kind of get things going.
First play of the 4th quarter, They hand off. Give goes to Franks, and he's just bouncing around like a pinball down there, and he's picking up positive yards while he's doing so. He'll get about 6 back. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2. The ball will be spotted at the 14-yard line of Junction City.
And you're right, Jacob. Just some good hard-nosed running, and you got to wrap up. You got to tackle. And he's just busting right through.
Rivercrest, 44 rushes tonight, 202 yards on the ground. They've got 111 through the air. They're averaging 6 yards per play. And so with something like, with numbers like that, you definitely have the advantage as they break the huddle here with 2, 1, and they won't call timeout. And so that should be, okay, there's the flag coming from the back judge. Luckily, somebody was paying attention to the play clock, and that'll be a delay of game. And so the 3rd and 2 turns into a 3rd and 7. So that helps Junction City here with 11:08 to play in the 4th quarter.
The Dragons making a substitution on the line.
And I tell you what, if you're Rivercrest here and you don't get the first down, but you're able to keep the clock running, I think you may even go for it just to see how things play out. They give to Robinson on the pitch. He'll try to cut it upfield. He'll gain a couple, but not enough. And so that'll bring up a 4th down, and so we'll see what the Colts decide to do.
I agree with your first statement there. Just go for it.
I mean, because the clock's running, the play clock hadn't started. So, I mean, you're looking at 40 seconds being eaten away, and that's if you don't get the first down. You get the first down, I mean, that's almost 3.5 more minutes you've got to eat off the clock if you play it right.
And definitely time of possession is everything.
4th down and 4, they won't get it. And nowhere to go. And so.
Well, now what we got.
Gibson's running with the football. And now they're finally going to blow the play dead. I tell you what, they're trying to average. I believe one time a man told me the average football play is 7 seconds. Here in the second half, it's been about 14 seconds. They're just letting guys just bounce around, flail on each other, and it's.
Well, that's what I was asking you earlier. They're letting those plays last a little. You got to let them play. I agree. You got to let them play. But I was watching some of this, especially, the play like it's over and you'd see the pile go sideways and everything. Like, Lord of mercy, blow a whistle, do something.
10-14 to play here in the 4th quarter. Junction City trails at 41-14. It'll be Dragon football. They've got it from the 19-yard line. Far hash. They'll be moving left to right. They've been a quick strike offense all season. They're definitely going to need a quick strike here. They give to Taylor. They'll keep it on the ground. He bullies his way forward across the 25 up to the 27-yard line. He'll be 2 yards shy of the first down after that 8-yard tote. And so positive gain for Junction City here on their first drive of the fourth quarter. Again, Taylor